Time for Mr. Truck, reviewing the latest innovations for your truck and trailer.
Mr. Truck here with Ken Kelsey. We are at SEMA 2019. This is our episode number 1. It's Ken Kelsey with Mr. Truck, and we are here at 2019 SEMA. And we're interviewing the TFLtruck guys, Nathan and Andre. And Kelsey's going to try to trick him into telling us some secret thing. So watch the show.
That's great. Hi, Kelsey.
Hi.
Some secret thing.
Secret things.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me all your secrets, guys.
All the secrets. Well, have a truck.
You have a truck. What color is it?
And torture test it.
Torture test it? Okay.
Yeah. No, so we're here at the Shell Pavilion here at 2019 SEMA, and behind us is a Ram Rebel truck, which we've had for over a year, about a year. It's the truck that belongs to us. And then we teamed up with Shell to test their latest Shell Rotella gas truck oil.
Yep.
Basically did an oil change 5 months ago, and then now we've put about 8,000 miles of pretty torturous use on the truck, okay. Towing and off-roading. About 5 episodes that we're overall going to publish. First one was towing, and the second one was off-roading.
Yeah, we did a lot of off-roading with the truck, so a lot of stop and go, high RPM, low RPM, hot, super cold, okay. You name it, we did it. The only thing is we didn't have Mr. Truck with us, which was a shame because he would have made things a lot more lively.
It's a sad thing, but we work with Mr. Truck, as yep. You know, in many ways, you know, towing heavy trailers with heavy-duty trucks. So we always love that. So thank you for having us on your channel.
No problem.
Ask him about the transfer case.
At the transfer case. Oh, what happened with the transfer case?
Yeah,
what did you guys do?
No, actually, we didn't do a thing. What happened was Roman, who's kind of our boss, he was taking it off-road, and one of the hardest obstacles we could put this truck on, he was going there, and there was a little snap that came from the transfer case up front.
Little snap?
A little snap, and suddenly we lost four-wheel drive and just had rear-wheel drive, which was awesome because getting down the hill when you only have rear-wheel drive, it's difficult, and it was better because it wasn't us.
Well, you should have had Kent because he's kind of...
Oh, off-road. I've seen what he can do off-road, and believe me, we're good. Sorry, you're great at towing, bud, but not off. Yeah.
So this truck has a few modifications. Okay. So it has a small lift, about 2-inch lift in the okay. front. We have a 35-inch tall tire. Yeah. So it's not a completely stock truck. So the stresses we put on this truck were really great, and I think that's part of the reason why there was a drive shaft failure that's going from the transfer case forward, okay. Just the gearing in itself. So, but it was fixed.
Other than that, it was fixed.
And
now you guys are up and running.
And we drove it here from Denver to Vegas, and partially off-road. So okay. The truck is as healthy as can be, and it's awesome.
Where did you make it off-road in Vegas?
So we went from Denver to Moab, Utah.
Okay.
And then that's mostly on the highway, and then from Moab, Utah, here partially off-road through like Beaver, Utah, and also Valley of Fire, okay. Right here in Nevada.
Alrighty. So you guys have put this truck to good use.
Yes, and you could see it with the mud.
Yep. Yeah. It's not the cleanest one here.
No, actually, it's one of the dirtiest ones here.
Yeah.
Did you run over anybody in Utah?
I don't think there's enough people to run over in Utah.
No, and no. Most of the trails were very deserted, and we just made it. I'm glad we made it here because we were trying to push the truck hard, okay. But it had to be here. And the important part is the truck is running great.
Yep.
It's here. It's muddy.
How tall's the gauntlet?
Really?
How tall?
He wants
to know, or does he want to tell us?
Mr. Truck wants to know how tall the gauntlet towing test is. It's the world's toughest towing test, mm-hmm. And the maximum elevation is 11,153 feet above sea level. I've memorized that number because we've been running it for 6 years.
6 years?
Probably hundreds of trucks.
Okay. Is anyone do it better?
No.
No?
No.
None do it better?
Yep. Unfortunately, we have Mr. Truck to work with. Yeah, was that good?
Good choice. Hey, did you vote for Trump?
Are you serious?
We're not going political.
What are you doing political for at SEMA?
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
If you have a short bed truck, you know it's not easy to hook up to a gooseneck. Pop-Up came out with these extensions from 9 inches to 16 inches to keep you from breaking out your back window when you're pulling a gooseneck trailer. And everybody uses a short bed. That's the most proper truck there is a crew cab short bed. So protect that window.
Welcome to the Pioneer Performance Live stage. And as you know them from their well-known YouTube channel. Thank you. How you doing, Andre? He's got to set up the camera there. All right, that's good. And Nathan Adlin. How you doing, Nathan?
Good.
Come on in, have a seat. Let's sit down, let's talk all things Fastlane. All right, so Annie, Jason, it's good to see you guys both again here up on the stage, and welcome again, Andre and Nathan. I've been following the YouTube channel a little bit, and I've been seeing you guys out there doing some outrageous stuff, from the gold hitch to the torture test. So what I wanted to do was give the folks out here a better understanding of what you guys have been up to and going through. So can you walk us through a little bit of that?
Well, we've been doing a bunch of things with Shell Rotella gas truck oil in our vehicle. It's been a series of torture tests that we put the vehicle through. It's a Ram Rebel. And man, we beat the hell out of that thing. And the best part about it is we got to do a lot of off-roading, which is sort of my thing, and we got to do a lot of towing, which is Andre's thing. He can talk about that.
Yeah, heck yeah. At the Fastlane Truck, we're all about testing new vehicles. So we're very fortunate to work with a lot of manufacturers, all truck and SUV manufacturers. And we have a project truck, Ram Rebel, and we're using Shell Rotella gas truck oil in it. And it's a 5-part series. We're doing torture tests. We completed 4 parts already. 3 of them have been published, so out there on YouTube. And I met Jason for the first time when we started the project on the Ike Gauntlet, the world's toughest towing test. And this is in Colorado, I-70, Eisenhower Tunnel, over 11,000 feet of elevation. And
wow.
Jason said, bring a trailer. I did, and it was 10,300 pounds worth of weight. And we pulled it, 8%, 7% grade, 8 miles, and that's how it all started.
Annie, elaborate on that, because this has got to be pretty exciting from your standpoint on this.
Yeah, so we've been so excited to be able to work with Fastlane Truck to create these torture tests. And I guess there's kind of 2 big reasons that we wanted to do these torture tests with you guys. And the first one is to be able to demonstrate the real world results in extreme conditions, because that's what our Rotella gas truck product is performing in extreme conditions. And the second and most important is for our fans to be able to follow along the journey as we continue to push the product to the limits. And we thought, who better to do it with than with these guys over here. So we're extremely excited and proud to work with you all.
Awesome. One of the things that we use the Shell Rotella product on our diesel trucks, and we also use it in our gas trucks for all the vehicles that we use in the movie industry. And we actually were excited when you were launching this because, with a track record like Rotella, and it's just such a name that it establishes, when you go in, it's almost like saying, I'll have a Coke. You know what I mean? And you may want a Dr. Pepper, but everybody knows it is Coke. And it's the same thing when you go in for an oil change. Everybody's like, Rotella? I mean, there's no question, right, when you're in a diesel. So when you guys were coming out with this, I was so excited because in the movie industry, you can't use diesel trucks because of the audio. So we use them in all of our SUVs and late model trucks because they have to perform. When that director says action, that truck has to start. It has to perform. And we wanted something that was going to be torture tested. And so it is really delivered well for us too. So it's exciting to see you guys out there showing the public on your YouTube channel exactly what kind of abuse you can put these trucks through. And they're going to hold up. It's always the nice thing. That's what we say about the Shell family. It's always the nice thing. That's one thing we don't have to worry about is the motor oil.
Failure is not an option, right?
Yes, yeah. Exactly. So as we're getting to this and we're talking about the 5-point series, I know we've kind of covered some of this, but Jason, sorry, I got the wrong page here. So excuse me. I think I skipped ahead a little bit.
It's because of all the excitement.
It is actually. So So Jason, actually, you guys joined us for the first torture test, navigating the gauntlet, right? How was your experience with that?
Well, first off, I gotta say, it's gorgeous to be out there, in Colorado at the hike. I mean, it is just beautiful views all over the place. I got a chance to meet the team here, to go out and really take a look at the truck, to see what we were putting our oil in, it's the first time. And, it's just a nice feeling to get out there and work with some people who really know what they're doing when we're talking about doing torture tests. They're known in the industry for doing this kind of work. So the good thing about it was our oil is sort of designed for this kind of torture. Rotella gas truck is something that is, in our hearts and minds, we see trucks as trucks. So you made a point about Rotella being sort of the diesel engine oil, but it's a truck engine oil at the end of the day. And that extends to the whole family of trucks, whether it's pickups, SUVs, it's the way you use it, it's a truck, right? So now Rotella sort of covers all trucks in general. And what it has in terms of a little bit of a boost in terms of oxidation, improved volatility, good low temperature performance. It's just an extension of that brand, but now covering something that people have a little more near and dear to them in their SUVs and pickups.
It's pretty crazy stuff, and then to think, when you guys are conducting all these torture tests, but you're actually testing the oil?
Yes, so let me talk about the first episode, and Nathan can take over for the off-roading part. So, like we said, 5 tests, five episode series. So in the first one, it was about the towing test. This is maximum weight for the truck. And this is kind of what people do every day. There's a lot of off-road rigs out here at SEMA, right? Some of them are not street worthy or legal, so you gotta get it to the trail, you gotta put it in the trailer, have your other towing truck get it there, right? So it's all important to know, can my truck make it over the mountain? And that's what we wanted to find out. Going 60 miles an hour, full throttle for 8 minutes in the summer. So, and the oil has to withstand that and help you protect your engine and get you there, get you home, and get you back. So that's what we did in the first episode. And then we checked the oil, get a sample out of it, out of the engine, using a little pump, and send it into a third-party Polaris laboratories for testing.
All right, so that had to be interesting to do that. So have you done that with every episode? You basically, that's part of the deal that goes with it, is also testing the oil.
Correct, and the 4th episode will be actually showing some of the results. And the final, we'll talk a little bit about that. We want to look inside the engine and see how it held up. But off-roading is another big part, right?
Yeah, when you think about it, off-roading is one of the most challenging things for an engine. It's a lot of stop and go, high RPM, low RPM. You're putting a lot of drag on the vehicle, and because we thoroughly enjoy beating the hell out of it and bouncing through mud and sand and everything, you have a lot of stuff getting into the radiator and creating cooling issues and whatnot. So having something that won't break down inside of the engine, specifically the oil, is huge, especially because if it happens when I'm driving it, I'm financially responsible for that truck, and I really don't want to be. So it's really, really cool that it just kept on going. And that's the best part. When we're done with it, yeah, he gets a sample and he sends it in, and each and every time, we've had the opportunity to witness firsthand exactly how that truck should perform off-road and with Andre towing like a madman.
You brought up a good point, because if you off-road like I do, it's kind of like watching the bartender make a mixed drink. And I feel like that's what the engine's doing, as I'm bouncing around, because I always feel like the more mud, the better. The higher the rock, the better. I don't know that Megan would agree with me, being the navigator in the passenger seat. Sometimes that's a real bumpy ride, but I enjoy those kind of off-road moments. So it's cool that you guys are out there doing that with the trucks to show them in the real-life applications.
Absolutely, and we go to Moab, Utah for a lot of this. It's sort of in our backyard. 4 or 5 hours later, depending on who's driving, we're there, and we've managed to go to several places, including Hell's Revenge and Fins and Things, and really push the truck and have an opportunity to film it at the same time, which is not the easiest thing to do, but it was a blast.
I think just kind of picking up on a point around the testing, so we have pulled samples, after each video series throughout the series, and so far the results have we've had some exciting results. It's performed tremendously well, which, as Jason mentioned, is what the oil is designed to do. It's designed to perform well in these extreme conditions. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about sort of the testing that we did in this torture test series, we've taken the truck out on a highway, we've, gone up gradients, so we've been at extreme elevation under extreme load. We've taken it to the Moab where it's been, hot outside, hot inside the engine. We've been at Mount Evans, where at this time we weren't towing, but we're driving really slow with a lot of load in the back of the vehicle, and then the most recent ones are, a long haul towing, extreme towing that we did. And all of these are sort of to simulate sort of the extreme of how you would use your pickup or your SUV. And even more to the point, it's a good simulation, a real world simulation of sort of how Rotella gas truck is going to perform when you're using it this way. I think that's the key part about this whole series is, a gas truck sort of engine oil is designed for how you use it when you're driving day to day, but it's got to be able to also take those extremes of how you use it when you use it for sport utility. When you're taking it out, when you're taking it away from the road. And I think that's what this series has really done a really good job of, is sort of giving us a lot of different ways to test that extreme, to sort of demonstrate how those extremes exist for you in those vehicles. And then take a look at each time and how the oil performed after each one of those. Because all of these are done with one oil change at the end of the day. So we've been basically just running one oil.
Right, and it's been, 5 months and almost 8,000 miles. So it's time to go back and change the oil again. And then that's when we'll find out, look inside the engine and check the oil again and find out exactly how it performed. But the truck still is loud, it's fast, and it's here actually, it's in the booth.
It is, right over there in the back. You guys can take a look at it right here in the booth after we're done with this little Q&A. But the thing that I want to mention to you guys too is with all the manufacturers too, getting away from the passenger cars, it was really smart in leveraging with Shell Rotella to move into the gas truck market, because that is a bigger segment than we've ever seen before. So totally. Hey, Nathan, so can you tell the folks that haven't tuned into this great series where they can find it, what the social handles are, and where they can find you guys too?
We are on YouTube. We're known as the Fast Lane Truck or TFLtruck. We have a website, which is TFLtruck.com. And we're on Twitter as TFLtruck. We're on Instagram as also TFLtruck.
All the internets, all of them.
Pretty much everything that's...
All the internets. I like that.
That's my man. That's how he talks. But the bottom line is that, we're pretty much anywhere. The Fast Lane Truck, it's kind of a silly name, but it seems to stick. Now here's the best part. You get to see my handsome face and Andre's handsome face just about every other day because we put up a ton of content.
You're too kind.
I had to add you in there.
And I think it's important to mention, we've got a video coming out here real soon, the 4th episode on YouTube. So make sure that you're following along with Shell Rotella on social, as well as Fastlane Truck, to get all the updates on this latest torture test.
Yeah, and you can look it up with Ram Rebel. It's there. Just search on YouTube or torture test. So you'll find it.
Annie, Jason, thank you so much for joining us. You two guys, Fastlane Truck, thank you for being on the Shell Pioneer Performance Live stage. Folks, take a look at their Ram Rebel right in the back here today. It looks like it just came right out of a torture test. Parked it right out there, so go take a look at that, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us right here at the Shell Pioneer Performance Live stage.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Truck.
Oh, there's Mr. Truck.
Yeah.
You got a live camera?
He's already back there laughing at us.
We're on. You got to do that kicking motion.
We're at. Don't actually kick it, Kent.
It's that moment where it's faster to actually hit the button.
Yep, okay.
Do we kick the button?
Here we go. There's the button, guys.
Okay.